My name is Rick Gamarra, and I'm the owner of Southbay Studios. And it's kind of a one-stop shop for the automotive industry. Although we can do from movies, we did the movie Michael and Tin Cup and G.I. Jane, and we've done all kinds of TV shows. The building was built, I built it in 1989. I started my car company, which is a company that facilitates the car commercials. The manufacturers to display their cars, put them up on mountains, cut them up, blow them up. I started that company in 1984, and then I built the studios in 1989. And what it is, it's a one-stop shop for the automotive industry. So you roll the cars down the hallway from the prep center, and all the modifications are done. You're ready to film, and we got all my stages have sights in them. All of them have light boxes in them. All of them have gantry systems and computer systems, turntables. Everything for automotive, for that industry, is at a one-stop shop. Where you would have to go to another studio in Hollywood and bring it in, it's all there. So it saves all the costs of having all this automotive lighting brought in and turntables and equipment. It's all one-stop shop. So there's no other studio in the world that I know of that has what we have, and in that big a volume. And we're located in Long Beach, California. And the reason I put it there is all the foreign and the domestic agencies and the ports there to bring the cars in, it was centrally located for the automotive industry. Although we just finished a Microsoft commercial, we do all the Progressive insurance. We do most of every one of the Progressive, from large productions to small productions. Mainly high-end commercials. Hardly any lower-end video, but always the top-of-the-line stuff. I started in 1983 washing cars, detailing cars for the car commercials. I had a truck and a trailer, and I ran around and would just clean the cars. And then I ended up building Focus on Cars, which is it's the largest car prep company in the world now. And then I built the studios that you see here today in 1989. I detailed the cars, and I went into Toyota, and the car company is pretty sophisticated what we do. We almost re-engineer the cars. We take the interiors out of them and have to display them away from the car, and we have to learn the onboard computers, and all that stuff has to work outside of the car. Then we'll rig them and helicopter them into, onto mountains and stuff like that. So it's pretty complicated business. And I have a saying, when they call, they say, hey, can you bring 12 cars out into the middle of the ocean at this longitude and latitude, and on Thursday of next week, can you handle that? And I say, yeah, we can do that. And I hang the phone up and go, how the hell are we going to do this? And that's how I built that company. There was no manual on how to learn how to do all the things that we do. So, 1984, I bought a truck and a trailer. I leased it, ran around and got my first job with Mitsubishi, and thank God I got some work. Then I got a second job and a third job, and then I ended up getting a small building. And then I went to Toyota and said, I can do all this stuff. I really had no company. And Toyota said, their agency said, well, you can do Toyota. I thought I was going to get a job, one job. And they gave me all of Toyota. 8 years later, I told the guy that gave me that job, I said, I had no company. You were out of your mind giving me this work. And he goes, I never knew. And I go, that's the key to it all. I told him 8 years later that I had no employees, I had no company. I told you that I could do these things, thinking if I got a job, I could rent a booth and get some guys and get a truck, another truck, or whatever I needed. They gave me the entire account, and it was millions of dollars. and he never knew I had no company. He tells everybody in the business this story. So then once I got that going, that we excelled and we became the biggest in that business. And that business is very critical. It's you can't be late. You can't say my truck broke down, because the film crew's there at $25,000 a half hour, and you're the car. You're the, so there's no room for error in that. Once I built that business up, I started thinking, well, we take all the cars down to Hollywood. What if I build a studio here in Long Beach? It'll save them time and money. And then what if I facilitate the studio to be automotive driven? Nobody else has done that. In 1989, I bought a building, 150,000 square foot that you see here today. I bought that building, and then it was gutted. There was nothing in it like this. And I built all the stages. Didn't know how to do that. People are going, well, how did you know how to do the studios? I built them wrong first. I mean, I built one wrong, and then I learned. But I'm just that kind of guy. I just grab things and go, well, why would they do it that way? You could do it better if you do it this way, And I built that studio. No one would come at first because it was in Long Beach. It wasn't in Hollywood. And we built a reputation. Now it's been 20 years, 25 years of all this, but it's probably one of the best studios in the world for both automotive and for standard production. I come from Detroit, and I come from my parents still have the home. It's 900 square foot, and it's at 8 Mile and Gratiot. It's in the pretty tough neighborhood, and I started. Some of this is going to be crazy. When I was still in high school, I bought a pizzeria, and I started this restaurant. In 1981, I sold it and drove out to California. And I don't come from, my parents don't have any money or anything like that, and ran out of money, and I was living on the beach here, and I just have this drive to overcome. And then I started that company that I told you about. But I think it's a drive that, I'm working harder than I've worked. I thought now it was going to be less. With the recession and being in the automotive industry and everything, I have to work harder, and it's 17-hour days. And I've worked my life to get away from all these hours and all that stuff. Reinvented myself, reinvented the studio, reinvented the tequila. Just all this stuff going on. I got about 120 employees that work for me. And I just got a fight in me that won't stop. In 1994, I started to lose this company. And to this day, I don't know how I kept it. I still can't. There's no one thing that other than just drive. I remember sitting at my desk and just in tears saying, it's over. You've lost everything you have. You've lost it. And getting up and fighting, and the marshals coming in because I couldn't pay my bills, and just crazy, drive. And I got up every day and beat that thing and paid everybody back and turned it all around. And that kind of happened in this recession thing too. It's same kind of battle happened there. It started just, no business. And then I just started I ended up getting all of GM. I went to Detroit and I pitched and I got all of GM. I had the best of everything for them. I have it. I got it. And we proved it with the Cadillac campaign 2 years ago. They took my whole facility and shot their whole campaign. It saved them a fortune because the cars are there, the prep guys are there, the lighting is there, the editing is there, all the equipment, the turntables, the flats, every piece of equipment's there. And they had to shoot this huge campaign, there was nowhere else to go. And when they filed, when GM filed, I called Detroit up and said, I'm staying with you. The rest of the industry kind of turned on GM. I mean, the production people, the directors, they all had big meetings, and they sort of turned and said, you know, we're not going 120 days on payments and all this stuff. When GM filed, I called them and said, I'm going down with you. This is the best thing I ever did in my life. And it's turned around. I mean, that was at that time, everybody said I was the craziest guy they said they owe you all this money, and I had all their cars, and it was like, you know what, I'm staying. I'm basically a risk taker. I mean, that's what I do for a living. And now I'm older and stuff, so I don't do it as much as I used to, but you know, the studio, when I built the studio, I ran out of money. I bought it in '89. I bought the building, started building. By '90, I had run out of money. So I had to start renting what I built. And every time I got money, I built another studio. And everything it just wasn't getting a checkbook out and going, hey, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that life is. I've never had that, and I still don't have it. Because this recession did another, you know, one-timer, and so now I'm climbing back out of that hole there. So I don't know any other thing than risk and fighting and getting. I got a saying, I get up every day and I get a kick in the nuts and a punch in the face. That's my life. But I'm happy with it. I mean, I got wonderful, this is my son here. I got wonderful family. We live in a wonderful home and stuff, but it's a fight every day. It's nothing's handed to me, you know. And it's, even though I built this great facility and stuff, the tequila business, what intrigued me by it was, if I build it, they will come. If I build it, I can go to sleep at night and they're buying. Whereas the studio, my car company, and the editing and all them is a fight every day. You better be and everybody in the industry has copied the things I brought to the industry, camera systems and the painting systems that we do, kind of proprietary stuff. They've all copied all my things, and I'm flattered by it, but then I say, okay, that's fine, you copied that, here's another one. And I'm constantly staying ahead of that's all. I sleep and eat that. You know, I got to do it better. I got to build a better mousetrap.